Bam.
And
Bam, we're live. Nope. No, it's my job, Sophia. Come on.
Are we live?
We're live. We're so live.
All right. Harley, what do you think? When you look at this workout, we got Mike here too.
Yeah, Mike from the chat.
Mike from the chat got roped in.
Live, but I unmuted, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You got Mike here. Mike, can you tell us what's been going on this week?
I've been watching. It's been good. Yeah, I had the advantage of doing the third workout on Monday and the second workout yesterday. So I'm doing this one today. So it works out for me. But
So Mike from the chat earlier.
What's that?
Mike from the chat earlier, he was talking all this trash, and he hasn't been doing all of them in one day.
Now there's a talk here. Oh, you have to go over your standards. You have to let them know what you're doing.
Mine's 24-inch jump overs or whatever. Box jump overs. And then I got the 50-pound dumbbell, 10 snatches. You don't have to alternate, by the way. And then I have 10. No,
you got five. You got five. Oh, he's nervous. He's nervous. He's going live. He's nervous.
So nervous.
Poor Mike.
Hey, Mike, what division are you in the Community Cup?
What division are you in?
Oh, sorry. I'm in the advanced group.
Sweet.
So
Which
he's in the geriatric age group.
It's because I'm
level
49.
Level 40?
No, fucker. I was.
Hey, watch the language.
Level 9 in my age group, but then they bring me down to 8 for the Community Cup.
Those bastards. Why would they do that?
Yeah, Nate, if you're watching, you were looking at my men's ranking, but not my master's ranking, just so you know. Come on.
All right, we got some banter going.
Partner in my new shirt.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, we won't be able to see the chat.
You too.
Nate said, "Oh, I'm here."
Nate's in it. Nate's here talking already, dude. He's ready for it.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, you ready?
All right, boys, you ready?
Start.
Oh, and I'm coached by Marissa, if anyone cares. Not
that. So all three of these athletes are coached by the same coach.
That's true. We are.
Oh,
That's true. That's true. We're all coached by Marissa, so if we suck, it's her fault.
I wasn't going to go that route.
It's okay. I accept it.
You gotta go home.
Mike told me that I was terrible in the last workout, so it was fine though.
You gotta go home tonight.
What was I supposed to say?
It's all right, Marissa. Todd has some more work to do. Lots of squatting endurance in his future in a mixed format.
Oh, I was supposed to admit that some of my overhead squats, I don't think I opened up my hips, and he definitely wasn't below parallel.
Yeah, I was.
Dude.
I just didn't open up my hips either.
Listen,
You're so lucky you weren't at semifinals. Their judges
just
would have
acknowledging-
screamed at you.
All right, at NCC, no one opened up their hips or reached parallel on the overhead squats either, so it's okay.
Listen, we're just acknowledging it, all right? We're aware. You don't got to make us aware. We know. Unlike Brooke Wells, where chest doesn't touch. She didn't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about the nonsense in the background. So let's talk about today's workout. We got a 20-minute AMRAP. We're going 15 box jump overs at 30 inches for both Todd and Cody. Mike only has to go 24 because it's geriatric. And then that's followed up by 10 dumbbell snatches and 5 handstand push-ups. It looks like Mike is allowed to kip, and then Todd and Cody are doing them strict. So I would argue the advanced version of this workout, if someone does not have a pressing limitation, since they're allowed to kip, is actually going to become much more metabolic than the pro. I think that unless the pro has, world-class handstand push-ups. That said,
or if you just did 60 overhead squats.
Or if you just
did metabolic because it was 15 at 30 inches.
Right. I think, yeah, exactly. I think that those box jump overs are going to light you up.
People who are good CrossFitters who are high level, with the strict, it's going to be less metabolic than it is somebody who gets to kip.
Just a little bit. Like, I think that there will be plenty of people who are able to repeat the fives without much hesitation. That said, if you do have a pressing limitation, that might give you some reprieve.
You're recording this? It's going to be recorded here.
Some reprieve, some little bit of slowing of the pace just to manage the later rounds of those 5. But 15 box jump overs definitely going to light you up. So, Sophia, when you look at this, what do you think from a pacing standpoint? How long do you think each round might take them, so that we can start discussing like what to expect, what's to come?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like the box jump overs they'll be pretty smooth. So maybe like
All right, we're gonna start. I think you guys are talking about some good stuff. We're gonna
Right.
start. I'm gonna go slow. Mike's gonna go slow. Cody's gonna go fast. Okay.
Sounds good.
And once we press the start clock, we're not gonna be able to hear you guys. So have fun.
All right, blackout.
send
Go
it.
fast.
We're not procrastinating this time.
All right, Sophia, go ahead. Can continue that thought.
So I think about maybe 30 seconds for the box jump overs.
What?
I don't
Dude,
know.
you're pulling a Luca right now, dude. You're like, I do 2
fast?
seconds of box jump over. That's so fast.
You're then 45. I don't know. I don't know.
All
I'm not. This is not my strong suit here. With the pacing.
all good. You'll learn it over time. So when
Yeah.
I see this, I think that someone like Mike or anyone in the advanced division who only has to do 24 inches, yeah, that cycle rate is going to be substantially faster because they will be able to find Todd winning rep 1, winning rep 1. So noticing here, they're 3 reps in and it's only 10 seconds. They're 5 reps in now for Cody. So he is going pretty dang quick. I suspect that pace is going to slow down substantially. I would say that somewhere around 4 to 5 seconds a rep on these box jump overs is probably going to turn out to be the average rate of travel. So we're looking at anywhere from a minute to a minute 15 for the set of box jump overs at 30 inches. As I said a second ago, so anyone doing 24 inches will definitely have a faster rate of travel. My bet is that they're going to do this first round substantially faster on the box than they do round 3. I think from round 3 on, that's when it's going to start getting a little bit more real. So continuing that math, I think that 2 seconds a rep is generally a good rule of thumb for dumbbell snatches in a longer sustained output. If you are a very high level athlete, you can start talking about speeding up that cycle rate and pulling the dumbbell back down. But for sake of math, sake of just estimating times, it's probably pretty realistic. And then with, transitions and such, we can just say 2 seconds for handstand push-up, just again, for sake of math. So looking at that, we're somewhere around 20 seconds for dumbbell snatches, 20 seconds for handstand push-ups, and a minute to a minute 15 for the box jump overs. I think that really a sustainable pace is anything 2 minutes or slightly faster for the elites. If you could end up anywhere plus or minus that 10 round, I think it's going to be a respectable score from a pacing standpoint.
Yeah. See, Todd already slowed down quite a bit.
No way. That's crazy. I never would have suspected.
Yeah, he won the first rep though.
Dude, he won the first rep. He did.
All that matters.
Are you doing these workouts on Saturday, Sophia?
No, I'm not. I have prep for Metcon Rush.
Oh, sweet. You're doing that. You got accepted into the elite division?
Nope.
No.
All right.
They used your photo. I was stoked. I was like, they used the photo for the highlight reel for the workout announcements. Sweet. RX division. Are there other good girls in there?
Yeah, I actually don't know quite a bunch of them. I only know one. One girl I competed with in the teen division. Her name's Isabella Barclay. She's one of my good friends. She's the only one that I know in that division, but she made the games last year for 16, 17. So it'll be good.
Cody is cooking here. He just finished round 2 at 240, so he's on a 120 per round pace. Let's see what happens there.
It's the shoes.
It's the shoes. It's totally the shoes.
Bring his Flintlock wood shoes. Spray on shoes.
I'm going to pull up a note on my phone just so I can start tracking some rounds. Just keep us in the know. So Cody was 2 rounds at 240. Todd, did you catch when Todd got to the box?
No, I didn't.
All right, that's okay.
Sure.
So he's on the box though. It's 3:30, so he's somewhere around that 90 seconds per round. It's pretty dang good though. Maybe 45 per round. And Mike is somewhere around that 90 seconds per round.
Let's go, Mike.
So they're on a pretty good pace. Definitely a high turnover workout. They've announced all of the workouts for Metcon Rush already.
Yes.
How do you feel about them?
Yeah, pretty good. The first event's a run, so that's the one I'm scared about.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they all look pretty good. The second one's a complex.
Nice.
Right after the run should be interesting since running takes it all out on me.
All out of you.
Yeah.
Mike
onto the handstand.
Mike's back on the handstands. He's finishing up round 3. If my math is right, he is just over 90 seconds per round now. 3 rounds. Finishing up at 4, we'll say an even 4:40 for math's sake. So we're looking at
In some water.
getting water now. Ooh. What's the weather like out there? Tell us about it. How is it hot? Do you guys have air conditioning in the gym? What's like their workout environment?
Air conditioning in the gym. Outside of the gym, actually before this, I was tanning. It's
Nice.
UV9 and like 78, I think, 75. Not sure. So it's pretty hot, pretty humid too. But inside the gym, it's a lot cooler.
So 79, humid, strong UVs. So it may be taking a toll on them a little bit if they weren't hydrating throughout their day. But I think the humidity definitely adds a layer to it. Todd's starting, what is that? Starting round 4, finished round 3 at 5:20. So 3 rounds at 5:20. He is still under that 2-minute per round pace that I talked about a second ago. So that's a good sustainable pace for him to see if he doesn't get all noodly. Cody, that's my big concern for Cody. So we were talking about Todd as Gumby earlier under heavy lifting. Cody, generally speaking, whenever he gets a little hot, a little heavy, he loses self-control of his body. He loses that spatial awareness and turns into like the used car lot balloon man, kind of like flopping all over the place. So
yep.
Let's see if he can keep it together here. I think he's starting round 5. Is that right, Sophia?
I think so, yes.
Yep. So just finished the box jump overs round 5. Still ahead of a 90-second pace. This is pretty dang impressive for Cody. He's on round 5 rounds in the middle of round 5 at 6:40 on those dumbbell snatches. What do you think about the difference of strategy? Would you be alternating these reps or would you be going that single arm approach?
I feel like I would alternate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Todd's resting. Good resting posture. What's your rationale for wanting to alternate?
I feel like, at least for me, when I do a bunch of them on one arm, I don't know. I just feel more. I just don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. When I switch between them, it's easier to get like that quick break. So I can go, at least for me, I could probably go faster alternating.
Yeah. So Todd just finished round 4 at the 7:20 mark. 4 rounds, 7:20. That brings him still under 2 minutes a round. Yeah, I think that for people who may have a handstand push-up pressing limitation, having that alternating rep may just keep the fatigues more symmetrical, more even between arms. If, those people who are complete savages on their hands, really strong shoulders, and want to get the best possible score, I think that the 5 and 5, by not having to switch hands, you could actively pull the dumbbell down a little bit faster from rep to rep. And that would theoretically shorten up your time per round a little bit. Again, that's for those people who have no limitation in the handstand push-ups, especially for 5. What's the biggest set of handstand push-ups you've ever done, Sophia?
Strict or kipping?
Both.
Oh gosh. Strict. I think I'm not the best at handstand push-ups. Like 18. That's like my best ever.
Nice.
And then I actually don't know about kipping, but definitely has been a weakness in the past and still is my overhead pressing.
Yeah, I feel like it's more common to have female athletes with this pressing endurance limitations, if they have average to above average arm length,
Mhm.
unless they have a gymnastics background, generally speaking, this is very, very general rule of thumb, we can assume that ladies' upper push pull is just going to be slightly less enduring and or strong than most male athletes. Again, that's a hasty generalization. There are outliers. There are phenomenal, handstand push-ups, handstand push-uppers, and pull-uppers in the CrossFit space, but it's not a rule of thumb for everyone. Ooh, Todd's feet getting a little wide there. Saw that correction in the middle. Someone yelled at him, maybe.
What round is Mike on?
It's a hard one to guess. He was at 90 seconds per round at round 3. So if we do a little math here, he would have then finished round 6 at 9 minutes if he's still on that 90-second round. So coming up to 10:30, or sorry, it's 10:06 on the clock. If he's holding even splits, we're looking at finishing his, what would that be, 7th round. That's if he's still holding that pace. He could have fallen off, and if he did, then he's finishing round 6.
Looks like his handstands are getting a little fatigued there.
A little labored. Ooh, had a little break there. Fell off the wall.
Oh.
Whoop. Whoa.
Oh, Mike. Cody's still going strong.
Yeah, I'm fairly impressed by this for Cody.
Yeah.
So I had Cody finishing round 6 at 8:30. So again, that's still a faster than a 90-second round. 90 seconds would be finishing at 9 minutes flat. So we're at 11 minutes. I think that he just finished the box jumps of his 8th round. And so we're looking at being basically right on pace for a 90-second round now, maybe a tiny bit ahead of the curve of that 90-second round. So he's still doing a pretty dang good job being consistent, being disciplined in his transitions. This is probably right in that sweet spot, that middle portion of the workout, somewhere between 8 minutes and 15 minutes, where you start to kind of second guess where you're at. Like, if you can hold on, keep making good choices throughout the middle. What do you think about this workout from a theme, a trend relative to the other tests? Do you think it was a good pick to balance it all out? Or what would you have liked to see in its place if you disagree?
I think so. I think it's movements that mostly everyone can do, besides, the handstands, but that just goes by level. But I think it's a good one. The only gymnastics was toes to bar, right?
There were some bar muscle ups in there.
Oh, bar muscle ups, yeah.
Yep.
But then I think for the
lower divisions, it may have only been toes to bar and pull ups. I don't quite remember off the top of my head.
I think keeping like the classic CrossFit theme, similar to like the open kind of, was good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so
go Mike. Go.
In the previous workout, yep, it was toes to bar and pull-ups for the intermediate division, and you got some bar muscle ups and chest to bar, toe to bar and chest to bar for advanced, toe to bar muscle up for pro. So there was some hanging gymnastics in there in the other tests. I think it's interesting to see, or not interesting, I think it's a good thing to see a progression of the inverted movement for the shoulders. We saw a little bit of that in the open with the wall walks, but we didn't really see any pressing, any overhead pressing in the open, if I recall correctly, aside from the thruster. We had hang clean and jerks with dumbbells, which, yes, that is taking a dumbbell shoulder overhead, but nothing on our hands other than the wall walks. And I think that that's kind of abnormal for the open. I think that generally, or not, it's abnormal to not see it. If it didn't come up here or in semifinals, then it would have been fairly abnormal.
Yeah.
CrossFit loves their handstand push-ups. It loves their shoulder endurance tests. So
yeah, for sure.
I like the rep scheme here. I think that this 20-minute AMRAP with the 5, 10, 15, or, in this case, 15, 10, 5 rep scheme is very classic. When I saw this, it reminded me of 11.5, which was power cleans, toes to bar, and wall balls with the same rep scheme, 5 power cleans, 10 toes to bar, 15 wall balls. It's, we're talking about an open workout that was from 2011. So this type of format, this type of rep scheme is definitely a common trend that we've seen in the sport a long time. I believe it was last year's, not this season's, but 2024 season, the age group qualifier for the age group semifinals had a similar workout that was 30-inch box jumps, but it was box jumps, not over. It had, I believe, 10 strict handstand push-ups per round. And then it had, I think, pull-ups as well. And it was 20 minutes long. It was very similar to this, just slightly different variations of the rep scheme and given movements.
Oh, there goes Cody's belt.
Well, Cody's belt's gone. Here comes the noodly arms. All right, he just finished a round at 15 minutes. If he's still, I'm going to make the assumption that he's either on the 90 seconds now, which was his 10th round, pretty dang impressive, or he's slightly ahead of it at his 11th round. So I would put some money on him finishing up his 10th round just based on cycle rate slowing a little on the box. It's really easy to lose time. We start talking about reps, especially the higher rep range movements, like a box jump over, in this case being 15 total reps per round. If you just go 1 second slower per repetition as fatigue settles in, you're losing 15 seconds a round just in this one movement. It doesn't matter what happens in the others.
Just took some rest. Now cranking away at the dumbbell snatches.
I feel like Mike's doing a pretty good job of staying low on that box.
Mm-hmm.
I find a lot of age groupers, as mobility starts to stiffen up, if we don't stay on top of that hip mobility, ankle mobility, I feel like some people have a hard time staying low on the box, landing in that squat. But he is doing a pretty good job of being balanced, being stable.
I agree.
Dude, Cody's just like raindrop, drop top that thing from the top.
That last one, little sketch on the way down.
Whoa.
I wonder why he took his belt off.
It's probably hard to breathe. I would just make the assumption there it's hard to breathe. So that round, if I'm still on track with the clock, took him 1:47. So back to the conversation, I do think he was at the 15-minute mark on pace for that 90-second round. That round, he gave up another 17 seconds, which, as I was just talking about that box jump over, I think that was the first round where he started to really look labored in the box jump. And even just losing 1 second per box jump, that's where that extra 15 seconds came in.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just a little bit more composed there in the middle. See that head start to bobble, that's upper back, upper chest start to sort of collapse forward around. His posture's going out the window. But will we see the infamous used car lot balloon man come out to play today?
I think he's trying really hard not to on the line.
I know he is. Dude, look at Todd's mechanics. He hasn't really sped up or slowed down much on the box. We all know Todd has great hips. His hips don't lie. So he's doing really good at just stepping off that box, keeping that torso upright. I feel like Cody's like not catching the dumbbell until it's below his knees.
Yeah.
It's getting ripped forward.
Oh, the last one keeps scaring me. Down. Losing
All right.
attention.
So going off that 90-second pace that Mike started at, he's in his box jumps for 18 and 30 into it. We acknowledge his handstands looks a little labored. So I think he was probably on pace for that 90-second. He's starting to bobble. Bobblehead's coming out.
He's starting to bobble.
That's all right. He's doing his best. That's something, body language is really important. I think that for athletes that are trying to become more competitive, composure and things we talk about of like becoming fitter, that even comes down to posture and the ability to control your body in space, right? So we've all seen the person out on the competition floor in the open in our gym, and they look like Cody, kind of starting to go get those grief burpees going. Their head starts rolling, that bobblehead starts rocking around. We really need to maintain that rigidity so that we can focus on the task at hand and move through range of motion with productive force, application of force, rather than just letting things rip around. If we do, need to stay relaxed to some degree, but there are certain principles of movement that we need to respect within, an acceptable range. So they know it's coming. They got 15 seconds left. Cody's really ripping it right now, getting those 5 push-ups. Are we going to see? Oh, good save there by Cody. Dead stop on the head. Is he going to get this last jump? He's got one. 3, 2, 1. And he did it. I don't know if he had to step down there. Let's pull up the score sheet here. If that last rep was a no rep for Cody, I'm going to let him know.
Here, I got the score sheet. It is a step down. I read it before.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Must step down from the box. That last rep doesn't count for Cody. So he got 2 reps in that final round for himself.
Go back. Scoot back. Scoot back. You can't even get back.
I know, I'm not even ready to talk.
No, just roll. Just roll. Lay on your side. Barrel roll. Barrel roll. No, farther.
Nice work, dudes.
That was easy.
Easy stuff.
That was easy.
Yeah. Tell us how many rounds did you
13
get,
rounds
Todd?
was easy, guys. 13 plus 3 was easy. 10 plus 1.
Todd, did you get 10?
Yeah.
10 flat?
My count was right, but
10 flat?
the first 4 rounds were 90-second rounds.
Yep.
So it's a lot of work. Like, yeah, it's a lot of work.
All right.
Debriefing.
So real quick, hold off, Cody, 1 second. So my estimate, my very loose early round counts, definitely were on track. We were looking at 90 seconds around for both Mike and Todd for a few rounds in. And then I suspected, due to movement quality, movement speed, people starting to get a little fatigued. Then they backed off to about an average of 2 minutes a round. So finishing off both were right around 10 rounds, whether it was plus or minus 1 based on their count. Cody held that 90-second round up through the round of 15, which is what we saw there. And then after that, he started to fall off just about 15 seconds a round or so. And that is where he ended up at 13 rounds and some change. Hey, just a heads up, Cody, you got 13 rounds and 2 reps. That last rep was a no rep because he jumped off the box and he did not step down. Otherwise,
Training make though, right?
Taylor, we're going to count it.
Quick debrief. How did you guys feel about it?
That was good. I fatigued at the handstand push-ups because that's my weakness there. So Marissa knows to get me going on that. So we'll get there. I'm only 3 months in with her, so we'll see.
Want to go? So I started off a little bit too hot, but then I was like, I wanted a buffer because
we were 115 first round.
My goal was 13 rounds, so I just wanted a buffer and get in rounds earlier because I'm not really good at getting stuff later on. And then as I realized that the handstand push-ups are going to be easy, the whole time I started speeding up the transition from the snatches to the handstand push-ups, and then starting the box because I knew my box pace was falling off and that I wasn't going to want to pick up the dumbbell as fast. So that was really much it.
Yeah.
I was,
My feet are cold.
I was just going. I think, like, obviously you can do the math and figure out how many rounds you're going to get. Like 2 minutes a round is going to be 10 rounds. And then you can base off there. Like, that's easy enough to do when you're strategizing. But something I've actively tried to work on is, and I think a lot of athletes should do this, any level, is in the moment, like, calculating and game planning, and then positively self-talking, like, the box jumps got really hard. So I was like, well, okay, whatever you do there, it's fine. Like, just keep trying to move and don't get your heart rate elevated, like, and be to a point where you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And then when I got to the dumbbells, it was like, okay, go unbroken. Because if you do 10 rounds, it's the 100 dumbbell snatches, which is a good volume. And try to work on this muscle endurance and like my mechanics and like overhead position really good. Play with either muscle snatching it or like a little bit of a power snatch and practice those techniques and like be in it. So when I was like doing it, that's what I'm thinking about. And then on the handstand push-ups, that's a limitation for me for sure. Like it's gotten better, but inverted, as everybody knows, like my handstand walking, my skills, like I can do it. And if you have me do it under no fatigue and you ask for like really good technique and 1 rep, I can do it for like aesthetics and quality. But when it gets deeper in the reps, I have a hard time. So there was the other thing, like, okay, unbroken every time. And like the one I fell off the wall, so I don't really count that as like breaking. It was just I was out of position. So it was like those goals in the workout. And then when I started to get really fatigued, just so I could just stay on pace in my mind, it's like, okay, I knew that I was going about 90 seconds around. I'm trying to hold that. And then I didn't get it beyond like a 2-minute round. There was a point like towards the end, Mike was like 6 minutes left. And I was like, okay, you could do like 2 rounds here or like almost 2 rounds then you said 3 minutes left. That's when I was like, oh yeah, I could do a whole round and plus. And I was like doing that based on what I calculated earlier on and how it was moving throughout. So like using that in my mind rather than thinking about like, oh, okay, my fucking shoulders hurt or these handstand push-ups going really slow. I could feel Cody going really fast on the handstand push-ups. When he started slow on the box jump over, it was almost motivating because I was like, okay, so like this is hard. He's slowing down. So like just you're slowing down, so stay positive because he's also slowing down. And then when Mike was failing the handstand push-ups, I was like, okay, like stay where you're at and like use that to like be consistent. Not like, I'm like, yeah, okay, their failure, quote unquote, was my motivation to keep going, but I'm aware of what's happening to like drive myself forward and just like, so hang on to my best ability, I guess.
One thing, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but in my head, I came into this thinking, all right, 10 rounds. So as I was going through it, I kind of kept I kind of knew where I needed to be. Yeah. Sure enough, I finished 10 rounds in 1 rep. Like, it was almost like in my head, I aimed into that. Like, I knew, I don't know if I.
You might have self-limited.
I don't know. Like, I just kind of
because
I just kind of knew that was my limitation, probably. Like, that would have been a good number. I was like, all right, 50 handstand push-ups, 100 snatches, that's a lot. 150 box jump overs. Like, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. If I said 12, maybe I would have done 12. You know,
right.
like, but like, I
don't know, because in my peripheral, when you're failing the handstand push-ups, I was like, oh man, he's gonna get stuck here. Like,
well, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah. I just needed to get my kip harder. Yeah.
Well, Mike, if it makes you feel better, Mike, whenever you guys started, I was talking to Sophia about pacing and how long we were going to expect this workout to take each round and what we're looking at. And I concluded 10 rounds would be a respectable score just through math and just understanding movement speed. Right. And you and Todd both ending up right at 10 rounds makes me look good. So thanks, man. You're self-limited. I appreciate it.
No, you didn't.
Different workout.
No, Mike, I gotta stand my ground because I go over this Saturdays.
Oh my god.
Different workout.
It was a different
workout, man.
Yeah.
That 30-inch box, like,
10
makes a huge difference.
I was like in the middle of the workout.
Oh, I agree.
I was wondering what it looked like on the camera, and I was like, I bet Cody and I are making this 30-inch look easy, like when we're jumping and stepping down, even though we were tired. But it's hard. Like, it's every time I jumped, I was thinking about my foot position, where I was landing, how I was stepping off and not getting stuck. Like, because I use the soft box because I don't want to fall on a hard one. And like, even though it might have, like, if you guys are watching and our jump, just our mechanics look easy, it's not that easy. Just a heads up.
My biggest fear was falling on my face and having it go viral on YouTube.
No one had a CrossFit fail.
At least that didn't happen.
Oh.
Yep. So what are some things you guys can individually take away from this experience, these 3 workouts, and apply to your training with your coach moving forward?
For me, I like having someone to push myself against, so, I mean, doing the one-on-one is great. Often we're doing a lot of things individually. I guess Saturdays are great, but So for this, doing a workout with 2 other pros over here was pretty sweet. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think the other thing though with that, like, is you gotta realize that the individual got you the ability to do this with us, which is the point. Like, that's so keep that in mind. Like,
It's steps to get there.
Like you can't.
But that's what I liked about today.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good way, like what I think what he's alluding to is a good way to test what you've been training. And so as a gym owner and trying to push people towards this, using the open, and then I said, like, because with all the stuff that's going on in CrossFit and sale, and maybe this, and maybe that, maybe they don't like this because they don't get a lot of participation, or whatever it is, I said, like, I might just do it. Like, because now that I know how they run and make the levels, break people down on the levels after the open myself, run the community cup within our gym every year. I think it could be a really cool thing that we do forever, and then get people to think about, like what Mike's saying is, like, having the training piece and like prepping and training for the open, and then have the big gap, prep and train for the competition. So it kind of breaks up the year pretty good, and then you still get off season. And oddly enough, during like after the community cup, there's a lot of like trail racing out here, gravel rides, marathon runs in the fall. Like, so people could take the summer and work on their aerobic capacity, and then in the fall we'd work on strength, and then come around again and create like a lifetime training cycle with something like this that's really fun, and like see if we can get more people like on the level that Mike's talking about, which would be cool.
Yeah. So Mike, did you have any?
Takeaway, but that's what I got from him.
So Mike, did you have any one portion of a workout that stands out to you that was like, man, that was like, that's still a limiter, I want to improve that, or even the opposite, like, did you hit a home run that you weren't expecting and you're like, yeah, that was awesome?
Well, 2 things for me this week, I guess, 2 takeaways. I had a front squat PR at 20 pounds. I went from 275 to 295. So that was pretty sweet. That's basically from 3 months with Marissa. And then my limiting thing was probably my rowing. I think, as I kept saying yesterday, or this morning's workout was a rowing workout, because I just kind of, whatever reason, I got fatigued in the rowing. So I just got to build up that stamina and work on rowing, because I don't want that to kill me. It did in the open too. The thing with the last workout with the 50 cals, and I was totally smoked on the second thing of 50. I don't remember the workout. I know it's the last one or something. But
so we're seeing a trend there, right? We're seeing a trend where we're like, oh, this implement, this, mixed setting rowing is a limiter. So that's the type of thing that we can take away from these experiences, these tests, and we can improve. And we can improve through individualized training. So just trying to like
a crew coach in here teaching us how to row properly.
The canal, we can go.
Yeah.
We gotta be on the boats.
Who's going to carry the boats?
We are. We are.
The first one, takeaways?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? All right. Well,
Marissa. Well, that's
what I
He
learned.
blacked out. He blacked out.
No. All right, so takeaways from this was probably
funny.
like dealing with like nerves, probably in workouts. Like, so doing the 3 workouts today on live in front of an audience, and just like knowing like how to like still perform well when I am nervous. So basically just doing workouts today with nerves and anxiety, and still like trying to perform well and not like blow up, was like one of the lessons I was trying to get out of this. Limiters, like, so for this one, like you said, Harley, what I fell off the 90-second pace at like 15 minutes in. So I mean, like, me and Marissa would probably look into like how we can just maintain that for 20 minutes, or just 5 more minutes, or just being mentally tougher, because maybe I could have held it for 5 more minutes. I just didn't want to.
Yeah. You guys couldn't hear me, Cody. You guys couldn't hear me. Obviously, you were working out, but I kept taking little jabs about your bobblehead and used car sales balloon man, posture. So that is something that I would focus in on. It is better than you. I've seen you in the past, so that is definitely coming along. But after that 15-minute mark, where the fall off started happening was
balloon guy. Harsh. Yep.
I just know you're slowing down. I couldn't really see.
No, I was doing that in the snatches.
Oh, okay.
that in the snatches, and then your arms and upper back were getting really heavy and rounding forward in the box. And so
during the box jump overs.
My low back was so bad.
Yeah. So just those little things, right? Like, yes, there are physiological physiological characteristics that we can train and to get better at that last 5 minutes. But something that you can take away and continue to work on is when you feel that bobblehead coming in, that loss of like movement quality, is just tighten it back up. Like just tell yourself like, no, I have to be here right now. And like, I have to have good posture. I have to keep my head still and don't let it hang and bobble around. So it really like after that 15-minute mark, you really only fell off by 17 seconds in that next round. You went from 130 to 147. And in that round specifically is the first round you started to bobble around like that and you slowed down your box jumps. So we start talking about 1 second per rep on the box jump. Then that's that 15 to 17 second loss just there alone. So it's very small details. You're right there, man. Like it's just got to tighten it up a little.
Yeah.
Todd, where are you at?
So like, I'm not secretive about this, but I say it a lot. Like I don't like doing CrossFit. Like I don't like for time workouts, or AMRAPs or any of that. Like I really don't like it. I honestly like, other than a testing protocol, I don't think it's like super valuable for people other than enforcing intensity, testing your fitness, which makes it hard, right? So like my training, I will bias to doing intervals, rest work, easier volume accumulation. And it proves that like that approach makes me good at CrossFit, because we did CrossFit today. And we do CrossFit one time a week on Saturdays, but I still don't like it very much. So my takeaway is that like, even though I don't like it and I train a different way, and that's my bias of that I enjoy, I can still 3, 2, 1 go it. And then also too, like I haven't done anything where it's like one event, an hour and a half later, another event, an hour and a half later, another event in a really long time. So to go back to back to back like that, that's a skill itself. And that was good today to do. It was really fun. It's fun to do it with Cody and like keep that up. So there's a lot like there to learn. As far as my fitness, that was a huge success for me. Like workouts like that typically destroy me. Like, like Cindy style or like even Murph, the aerobic endurance and like muscle endurance and energy, like oxygen delivery to my working muscles is very poor because I'm not aerobic. And we've worked on me being aerobic over the last like 2 years. We're doing running, like the half marathon stuff. I bike a lot, and it showed that like it just takes time, and you can trust it and like work on those things, and then do a 20-minute test, because that's what it is. It's a test. It's not training. Like, yeah, we got workout, we got reps, we got fitter, but that's not a way to train, I don't think. And it reminds me of that a little bit of like, okay, like you can't do this shit every day.
Yeah.
But you can.
And you hit the nail on the head, though. You compared it to Cindy. I compared it to 11.5, which is another 5, 10, 15, 20-minute AMRAP rep scheme workout. This format of test, to use your verbiage, is not going anywhere. And so we need to do them here and there to assess where we're at and how we're performing.
Right, and I think that's what it is, like building the characteristics, like knowing that, like what was failing me. Like I was going unbroken, I can jump over. What's failing is just my general ability to deliver oxygen to my working muscles and keep the blood flowing, right, and be aerobic. Right. So I don't need to do this type of stuff to get that. I could go do zone 2, I could do high threshold effort running days, I could do echo bike stuff. I don't need to do hard CrossFit to get better. Now you can do hard CrossFit, but if you look at all the science and research now that's coming out, like you don't necessarily need to. You just need to be smarter in your training, more deliberate in what you're doing, attacking the characteristics like we're talking about. And then once that's in there as the meat and potatoes, there is value of like training with people who are better than you, testing yourself. If you want to compete in the sport, setting up simulations like this. Like that was a simulation. Like we did 3 events the way you would at a CrossFit competition. If you're somebody like Jace who just competed and you want to be at a higher level, it's like 1 to 2 times a year, you set up a simulation where you go 3 days in a row and you show up at the gym and you hit a workout, you have a rest period, you hit another workout, like to get better at practicing the skill of the sport. But I don't think you need to. So like if you're not going to compete, you may just need to get a one-on-one coach for a better training program, or find a gym that doesn't do a ton of CrossFit all the time and like does developmental training.
Right.
Which is like my biggest takeaway is like the developmental training I've been doing with Marissa made me perform today, no problem.
Correct.
So I don't need to do CrossFit, and that's my takeaway. It's like I don't need to do it. I can, but if I just stay the course and be patient and listen to her and work on what I need to work on and be disciplined in that, I will be fine.
Yeah, and let's rephrase that. Like, you are doing constantly varied functional movements performed at relative intensities in your training with a balanced structure.
Right. I meant the body of the testing body of
the
CrossFit.
Testing body, correct.
Or the training program that you see on .com, which is not a training program.
Let's dive in one more point there just to follow up that conversation. We're seeing a lot of people talk about hybrid training and things like that online right now. And really, let's be realistic. If it's constantly varied functional movements performed at relative intensities and you're just polarizing your training where you're doing a heavy day on one day or a fast day on one day, and then the next day you're going lighter, more aerobic, allowing for recovery and balance across the week, you're realistically just doing structured training that is more in line with CrossFit than not. So
I think the hybrid training idea is a way to sell structured training.
For sure.
Less intensity in the form of AMRAPs, chippers, couplets, triplets, rounds for time. And they can pull that away from people a little bit to make them feel better. But like, I know I joke, but like if I had genetics to run, because some people have a higher economy in running, better VO2 max, a better cardiac system, and they can run very easily. And let's say you now apply strength, someone like Hunter McIntyre, he's built to run. So you take him and put him in this setting, well, of course he's gonna be a good hybrid athlete. But most people are not Hunter McIntyre. Most people are just average human beings. And I would say CrossFit, and you look at it, it is the hybrid program. It is the best hybrid program because you will get very strong as we perform in the beginning of the day. We can do 20 minutes and do a lot of work in a 20-minute window. And like if you were out there running with us yesterday on the track, you'd be like, damn, these guys are good runners too. So don't be fooled by like this selling. And we try to sell as coaches and stuff, and so does Train Think Tank and some of the other programs. And it's okay to sell, but like realistically, it's all the same thing. It's who's giving it to you and who understands it best also. Because there's some people who don't understand any of this, but claim to.
I just make it up as I go. I'm one of them.
GPT.
I don't. So Cody, you didn't say a highlight. You just criticized yourself right and left. So what was your highlight of these 3 tests? What was the exciting moment for you if you had one? If not, just say something nice about yourself.
I guess since me and Tom were talking yesterday during the run or during our warm up about me getting 13 rounds, and then so I did that. Even though I kind of felt like it was going to be pretty hard to do based on everyone. I have a few buddies that were complaining about like only getting like 8 and change or 9 and change. So I thought it was maybe a little bit harder. But
yeah, I mean, just like rub it in their face. So I'll say something nice about you because I've been just talking a bunch of trash all day. So I think you're a very handsome man and you have a great personality.
It has nothing to do with this physical fitness.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. I'll just leave it at that.
Like, look at Seth Stovall, my boy.
I know, yeah.
Pretty boy.
Or Mason Griffin.
I know. Wah. What do you guys say?
Right.
That was it. He was setting up a joke.
And we'll end it there.
All right. And
be on the next one.
Well, hey, pull up. Hey, Sophia, wait 1 sec. Pull up Marissa's comment.
Oh, yeah.
She commented, I just realized I coach all 3 of these fools. She didn't even know.
Yeah,
she obviously knew.
Heather said Team Marissa.
All right. Well, Team Marissa, we're going to wrap it up for the day. Great work, boys.
Wait, you had to say something positive about
No, he did. It was a joke.
He said he's handsome.
I know, but let's give someone physical.
No,
that was it. No, that's it. I did. I said you're getting better. I said he is improving his bobblehead waist. That's a comment. He is getting better.
All right. Well, next week, we interview Jace and hear about NorCal.
And I won't be on it because I'm going to a seminar that day.
We're going to move it then. Sorry, Jace.
All right.
We got to have you on.
I know.
All right. We got to reschedule it. Then maybe not Wednesday. We got to
yes.
I'll text you.
So I have a seminar from Monday through Thursday. I'm doing that tactical strength and conditioning seminar.
Yeah. How much have you been shooting?
It's not that. It's from NSCA. We're not shooting anything. It's just how to train people who are in the first responder type of role.
I understand. We should get those little guns they had at NCC.
you know what's interesting about this whole tactical thing? If you look at most of the physical aptitude tests of first responders, it's all just like aerobic and farmer carry and just like doing grunt work. And I'm like, oh, it's high rocks just in 10 minutes instead of an hour.
Dude.
Sick. So it's all just hybrid training, and which is all just CrossFit. All right, that's it for the day.
We define fitness.